South of the border, a foreign country a step away, Mexico, land of mystery and romance, mingled tradition and history. Mexico City is the hub of this foreign country. The center of the government is located in the National Palace, which contains the presidential chambers, the Secretaries of Finance and Defense, the museum, and the Federal Treasury. The Palace of Fine Arts exemplifies the cultural life of this modern city. The residential districts abound in striking homes of Spanish architecture and design. The boulevards are broad and tree-lined. The Paseo de la Reforma is compared with the finest in the world. Beyond the Statue of Independence stands the magnificent Chapultepec Castle, and the bronze grasshopper in the courtyard signifies the hill of the grasshopper or Chapultepec. As one strolls through the old castle once occupied by the tragic couple, Maximilian and Carlotta, one feels the pulse of old Mexico. The castle grounds are filled with shimmering lakes and sparkling fountains, beautiful botanical and zoological gardens watched over by colorful guards. Cathedrals rich in tradition and adorned with gold, silver, bronze, and mahogany, containing priceless parchments, musical archives, all unguarded, unwatched, for the Mexican has a deep reverence and devotion for his temples of religion. Woven into the colorful pattern of Mexico is the ancient civilization of the Aztec and Toltec. The pyramids of the sun and the moon stand as a monument to a great civilization of antiquity. Little is known of this portion of the history of Mexico, as all records were destroyed by the gold-hungry Spaniards generations ago. Mexico is a country of great contrasts. Along the modern highways, we come upon natives carrying huge bundles on their backs, held in place by wide straps across their foreheads, trudging silently toward their markets. In Mexico, if Papa owns the donkey, Papa rides. If Mama owns the donkey, Mama rides. Transportation is in keeping with the ancient customs of the country. Oxen teams are seen pulling huge two-wheeled carts down modern highways. Burrow trains carry unbelievably large burdens of pottery, fruit, grain, hemp, and rope. The Burrow is the chief means of passenger and freight service throughout all Mexico. Taxco is a typical native town with its red-topped houses nestled closely together upon a hillside, reminding one of far-off Sicily. The ever-present cathedral, standing like a shining sentinel keeping vigil over humanity below, magnificent towers, the music of the chimes pours forth each evening at sundown. To stroll through the winding, narrow cobblestone streets is an experience long to be remembered. We find the natives living even as did their ancestors many years ago. Their habits, customs, and occupations are far removed from the civilization we know. Old methods of carding wool handed down from father to son are still used. Silversmiths are still plying their artistic craft, using ancient implements and tools. Contrary to the usual concept, the Mexican people are industrious, never rushed, never hurried, but always at work at something, even though many times insignificant. The marketplace is a teeming mass of pigs, burros, sheep, and people. Vegetables, fine cloth, native handiwork, and rope, everything imaginable is displayed on the ground or hung in little booths, all amid the babble of thousands of Mexicans bargaining, gossiping, visiting. The greater portion of native buying and selling is done in the marketplace. Mexico has few grocery stores. In the rural districts, life is quiet and leisurely. The tiny settlements are swarming with smiling, happy children. The hillsides are lined with rows upon rows of maguey plants or century plants, getting its name from the fact it blooms once every 100 years. From the various branches of the maguey family are produced the intoxicating drinks of Mexico, pulque, tequila, and mezcal. When the plant is about to bloom, the stem is cut out, forming a bowl into which gathers the sap from which the various beverages are made. The old Indians snipped the end of the cactus-like leaves to secure a useful needle and thread with which to do their crude sewing. Farming is the chief occupation of the Mexicans. They plant their corn in the same manner as did their forefathers, dropping the corn kernel by kernel and covering it with their feet. Cultivation is still done with the old ox team and the crudely built handmade log plow. The land of Mexico, with its diversified climate, grows the products of the world: corn, wheat, rye, barley, sugar, coffee, vanilla, cotton, indigo, rubber, tobacco, cantaloupe, and rice. Cultivation of the rice is carried on by the same method used in the Orient. Terraced slopes, peons working with trowels and large sombreros to protect them from the hot tropical sun, make an unforgettable picture. Many tropical fruits grow in abundance, such as lemons, oranges, grapefruit, bananas, and papaya. But all is not work and labor in Mexico, for frequently they come from the countryside, villages, and towns to enjoy their parades, pageantry, and holidays. Most of all, they like the bullfight, the national sport of Mexico. The bullfight is an exciting and gala affair with its rules and regulations, its skill and technique, its national sporting heroes. And believe me, when El Toro charges into the ring, it's an experience of a lifetime. And when he attacks the picador, the great arena becomes a bedlam of excitement and thrills. The Matador cautiously attracts the attention of the bull. El Toro charges. The Matador shows his courage, ability, and technique. He places the bull under his complete control and mastery. There is a tense moment as El Toro pours his fury, making ready for another charge. The crowd roars its approval, the same as we do for our own athletic hero. But bullfighting is not the only sport, for the children in Mexico display the same ingenuity for play as they do in our own country. Sliding down an old cog rail on a board for a distance of 2 miles at the rate of 45 miles per hour certainly is great sport, unless you're little and the big boys won't let you try it. Our last views of Mexico bring the realization that here is a country of great contrast, of old customs, of ancient civilization. A country containing more of interest cannot be found in all the world. Ha sido un gran placer. It has been a pleasure. Adios, amigos.